Shalom Aleichem is on page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליונו ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. So if you open your books, your prayer books to 131, that is Ya'aloz Sadai, may God be rejoiced. It is the fourth and third lines from the bottom of page 131. That's page 131. Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar. Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar, az iranenu kol atzei ya'ar. Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 Ya'alon Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alon Sadai. Ay 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 ay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to be together for another Shabbat here at United Hebrew. It's great whether you're joining us here in person in our sanctuary or, as I like to say, through the magic of the internet, joining us through our live stream. It is wonderful that we get to gather together in community and celebrate Shabbat, celebrate our Jewishness, and this evening, and particularly tomorrow morning, celebrate the future of a young Jewish individual who will be having his bar mitzvah tomorrow morning, Nate Daniels. And so I know we have lots of family. I was talking to one of the members of the family. They've told me that they have family in town from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. And so it is wonderful when we get to gather together in that way. One quick thing to note, especially if you haven't been with us before, you may have a prayer book that at the bottom has 2 sets of page numbers. You want to look at the larger numbers in the brackets in the blue ink. As we call out the numbers, again, it's the larger numbers in the brackets in the blue ink. But we begin welcoming in Shabbat, as we always do, with inviting the light of Shabbat into our world with candles and then Kiddush, the sweetness of Shabbat. And for that, I invite forward the Daniels family, which would be Meredith, Kevin, Nate, Liam, and Owen to join us. And we are on page 120.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Please rise. Please rise. There we go.
And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, boreh peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodesho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim.
be seated. I'll take that. And although this evening Kevin and Meredith did the majority of the work, tomorrow morning Nate takes over and will lead the vast majority of our service. And so we are definitely looking forward to what I'm sure will be a wonderful morning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So sermons can take many different forms. Sometimes we have illuminating insights into the weekly Torah portion. Other times we endeavor to inspire and uplift. Still others, we have important messages and values we need to get across. And we even seek to occasionally, perhaps, entertain. All of this while attempting to inform and to teach. This evening in particular, I hope to inform, to raise awareness about 4 different events and interrelated topics of which I hope and I believe it is important for us as Jews, particularly as American Reform Jews, to be aware. So first, did you know that yesterday was Yom Herzl, or Herzl Day in Israel? Anybody know that? Okay, I'm glad I get to teach you all something. Throughout our calendar year, we have our major religious and cultural holidays that have united Jews throughout history and through tradition and connection. Things like Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, Hanukkah, Passover. I imagine you've heard of those, right? Of course. Then we have our modern holidays, most of which have taken form and the greatest significance with and in the state of and the land of Israel. But many of these have also spread throughout the world. Holidays and celebrations like Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, and of course Yom HaAtzmaut. Then there are some holidays that are more localized, either in Israel or among certain segments of the Jewish people. And to many, these holidays are completely unknown. One such holiday that, in my opinion, ought to be far more widely recognized is Yom Herzl, or Herzl Day, which is an Israeli national holiday celebrated on the 10th of Iyar, that was yesterday, Thursday, which is the birthday of course, Theodor Herzl, the father of modern political Zionism. Although Zionism, the love of the Jewish people and the desire for equal rights, our sovereignty in our own land, had been around for millennia, really since the time of the destruction of the First Temple, Theodor Herzl, or Binyamin Ze'ev, as was his Hebrew name, picked up that deep, innate spiritual nationalism, or really patriotism, and turned it into the modern political movement that exists today, and that also has the entity, of course, the State of Israel. Born in 1860 in Pest, Hungary, Herzl experienced minor moments of anti-Semitism, both in Hungary and in Vienna after moving there with his family. Then, in 1894, while working as the Paris correspondent for the New Free Press, Herzl covered the shocking Dreyfus Affair, in which a fully assimilated Jew like himself and a high-ranking captain in the French military was blatantly framed and scapegoated as a traitor. In a trial that highlighted his Jewishness, and despite clear evidence pointing to his innocence and the guilt of another party, and with a crowd outside chanting "Death to the Jew," Dreyfus was convicted and found guilty. This event convinced Herzl that anti-Semitism would never be, that assimilation would never be the answer to anti-Semitism, and led Herzl to the realization that the next step to addressing the issue was political equality on a national level. In other words, a Jewish state. Just 3 years later, in 1897, Herzl organized the first World Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, which founded the World Zionist Organization, whose express goal was the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Eretz Yisrael, the historic land of Israel. At the time, Herzl wrote in his diary, "In Basel, I founded the Jewish state. If I were to say this out loud today, people would laugh. But perhaps in another 5 years, certainly in another 50, everyone will recognize it." Although Herzl unfortunately died just 7 years later in July of 1904, he was proved correct, as just over 50 years after the First World Zionist Congress in May 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the independence of the State of Israel. Amazing. Thus, in Israel, Herzl's work and legacy and his vision is celebrated on Yom Herzl, Herzl Day. Yet, his endeavor, his dream, the advancement of Zionism, was and is a universal Jewish vision involving the uplifting of the Jewish people as a community and a shared national identity. This is core to our experience as Jews everywhere in the world, and our commitment to a shared past and shared future is the thread that has and must continue to connect us for Judaism and the Jewish people, us, all of us, to not only survive, but to thrive. Thus, we too, I would suggest, ought to celebrate Zionism and Herzl's dream. After all, as Herzl taught, Im tirtzu, ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no dream. But this is not where the story ends. So second, did you know that the World Zionist Congress is still around? I hope many of you do from the emails and announcements that we've done, because we just finished the elections. Indeed, the American Zionist movement just conducted the elections for our representatives to the 39th World Zionist Congress. Voting ended this past Sunday, and I hope many of you, hopefully all of you, if you are Jewish, voted, because this Congress not only guides the future of the World Zionist Organization, helping to continue Herzl's vision, it determines how more than $1 billion will be spent annually in Israel and around the Jewish world. As American Jews, if we want to have a say in and an impact on the future of Israel and the Jewish people, this is among the most direct and important ways we can engage. So if you voted, thank you. If you didn't, please look to vote in the next elections, which occur every 5 years. And even if you didn't vote in this year's elections, it is important to pay attention to the results, particularly this year, because unfortunately, not all of the slates followed the rules nor behaved ethically throughout this process. Unfortunately, the organization running these elections for the American Zionist movement detected fairly significant voter fraud tied to 6 slates, all of whom are connected to Orthodox or ultra-Orthodox religious groups. This is only the second time that ultra-Orthodox parties have participated in these elections, previously sitting out due to ideological and theological reasons. However, after the success of one party in the previous cycle, more slates joined, and in order to inflate their electorate, they created over 10,000 false ballots using prepaid credit cards and randomly generated emails. While 10,000 may not sound like a whole lot, this is 6% of the total vote, and comes on the heel of these same slates offering to pay for or to enter a giveaway for their votes, both of which are illegal. As multiple slates, including our own Reform Movement slate, have said, throwing out these votes is not sufficient. But we must make clear that these immoral, anti-democratic sentiments have no place in this Congress. Only in this way can we uphold the values and vision of Herzl and ensure the future of Israel and the Jewish people. Changing topic a little bit. Third, did you know, and I bet many of you do, that a new pope was elected this week? Yeah. Historically, the relationship between Jews and the Vatican has been a bit fraught. In 1904, when Herzl himself went to the Pope to seek their support for a Jewish homeland in Israel, the Pope responded, and I quote, "The Jews have not recognized Jesus as Christ. We therefore cannot recognize the Jewish people." And instead, the Pope concluded by saying that if you come to Palestine and settle your people there, we will have churches and priests ready to baptize you all. But over the past 120 years, Jewish-Catholic relations have improved. With Nostra Aetate in 1965, giving greater recognition to other faiths and refuting the most extreme condemnation of Jews as Christ killers. While this is not true acceptance, this document led to significantly greater toleration and better relationships between Jews and Catholics. Likewise, while the Vatican initially refused to acknowledge the State of Israel in 1948, only in 1993 were there formal agreements and mutual recognition of Israel. And although this relationship has been tested since October 7th, this relationship and the continued connection between Jews and Catholics remains important, particularly in this era of rising racism and anti-Semitism. With this in mind, even Rabbi Rosenberg sent a letter to the Pope, to Pope Leo XIV, congratulating him as he enters this new influential role. We can, and certainly should, hope for greater and better communication and relationships as we move into the future. It is unfortunate, however, I must say, that the Pope is a White Sox fan. Not my favorite team. Finally, I want to point out all the wonderful things that are happening here closer to home at UH. We celebrated so many things this past week, so in a speed round, did you know that last Friday was our Israel Shabbat service, at which we had a wonderful speaker who shared their experience in the IDF and as an Israeli since October 7th. It was wonderful to meet them. Then, on Saturday morning, did you know that we had our confirmation service? That's one of my favorite services of the entire year. That morning, 11 young people led our service, read from the Torah, and shared their statements of confirmation in which they expressed exactly what being Jewish means to them and how they hope to engage Jewishly in the future. If you didn't see the service, I encourage you to go on our website to watch it. Then, that evening, did you know we had our High Society honors and our prom celebration? More than 200 people came together to support our community, welcome our new High Society members, and simply have a wonderful time in community. And finally, on Sunday morning, did you know that we had our final religious school of the 2024-25 school year, during which we celebrated again Israel and Yom HaAtzmaut, and all of our teachers and madrachim did such an amazing job, not only on Sunday, but throughout the year. And even more so, Gaia, our Shinshin, created a truly wonderful closing program for our students, including a make-your-own hummus competition that students loved and could not stop talking about. Some of them were really good, I'll say. And so with all of this, be sure, I want to mention especially for Gaia, be sure to join us next Shabbat as Gaia delivers her final Devar Israel, and we thank her and celebrate her for all her amazing work this year. So I hope now, from those 4 different things that really do share a thread of connection, Judaism, Israel, Jewish peoplehood, Jewish connection, I hope by sharing these moments with you this Shabbat, you may have learned something. I hope you may have found out something new. And as we continue to look to the future, I hope we can all listen and be inspired by the wisdom of Theodore Herzl. Im tirtzu, ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no dream. Shabbat shalom, everyone. And we welcome in Shabbat with the Chadodi on page 138.
Join me. Lecha dodi, likrat kala penei, Shabbat nekabla, nekabla. Lecha dodi, likrat kala penei, Shabbat nekabla, nekabla. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה,
Please
פני
rise.
שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה.
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
On page 148, we join together in our evening prayer of creation, Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim. Bechokma poteach she'arim, uvit vuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And on page 151, we read together at the top of the page, As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We turn to page 154 and chant together the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In the middle of page 157, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. And we sing that song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 158.
Please repeat after me. Ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, 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 ya-da-da-da. Let's do it again. La-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da. You know it. Mi chamocha, mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, nedar b'kodesh. Beautiful. Nora, nora, tehilot, tehilot, ose, ose, feleh. Malechutecha, malechutecha, ra'u vanecha, ra'u vanecha, bo kehayam. Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli, zeli, anu ve'ameru, anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed.
And we turn from a song of freedom to a prayer of protection, Hashkivenu, asking God to watch over us as we lie down and wake up to life renewed, page 160.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Hashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'ha'amidenu שומרנו לחיים ולשלום ושמוצתנו ובואנו מאחים ועד עולם מעתה ועד עולם מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת רחמים וחיים ושלום וחיים ושלום ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו לשלום ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל again. Ve'al Yerushalayim. Try that. Ve'al Yerushalayim.
And on the bottom of page 163, earlier I spoke about Theodor Herzl, the father of modern political Zionism. Here we have a quote from the father of cultural Zionism, Achad Ha'am. More than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. And so we rise together on page 164 for our tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. And we turn in our prayer books to page 179. And there we will join together in a prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. And we turn now to a prayer outside of our evening prayer service, a prayer that we have been offering for the past over 580 days, a prayer that asks God to redeem the captives, as we'll sing together, "Blessed are you who is a freer of the captives."
Join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam natir asurim natir asurim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam natir asurim natir asurim natir asurim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam natir asurim natir asurim.
May it be so. And we continue on page 377 as we join together in a prayer for the state of Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
And we turn in our prayer books, we turn back to page 371 as we think of those in our community, our friends, our loved ones, our neighbors who are in need of healing. And tonight, if you are thinking of someone who is in need of healing, be it a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing, I ask that you rise at this time. And together we will call their names aloud, sending them toward the heavens with our prayer. You may be seated. We take all of those names into our hearts. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we join in singing Mishaberach, our prayer for healing.
Avotenu mekor haberacha laimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage with refuah shelema. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And we take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Hey, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Yalalai. Hey, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shabbat shalom.
It's nice to see everyone here tonight. My name is Mindy Resnick, and I am from the United Hebrew Board of Trustees, here with some announcements for you. There will be Torah study at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow in the Javelin Youth Lounge and on Zoom. There's also a Shabbat morning service and bar mitzvah of Nate Daniels at 10 a.m. in the Millstone Sanctuary and on live stream. Mazel tov to Nate on becoming a bar mitzvah and to your family. Embracing I know I'm going to say this wrong. Vayinafash? Yes. Okay. I practiced it before. Embracing Vayinafash, Lag Bomer with Rabbi Rosenberg at 12:30 p.m. in the Millstone Library. And all of this is tomorrow. Upcoming events, Whiskey and Wisdom will be on Wednesday, the 14th at 7:30 p.m. in the Kaplansky Center. And we'll have Singing Bowls meditation on Saturday, May 31st at 11:30 a.m. in the school hallway. For additional information on upcoming classes and programs, visit the UH website. And thank you to our tech team here tonight for making it possible for all of us to be together virtually. And please check out our website for office and gift shop hours. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
And since the second night of Pesach, we have been counting the Omer, counting from Pesach all the way to Shavuot. And we turn in our prayer books to page 570, and we rise as we prepare to count the Omer this evening. We join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom shiva ve'esrim yom, shehem shlosha shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is 27 days, and it is 3 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And we turn now to page 586 as we remain standing for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated, and we turn to page 595. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. This Shabbat, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the family of Hortense Grow. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Dr. Mark H. Kaminsky, Sharon Fox, John R. Keyes, Jeffrey Levy, Jacqueline Jackie Rudolph, Judy Sipkin, Ronald Ron Teeper. This week, this Shabbat, we lovingly remember those whose yahrzeits fall at this time. Hattie Abraham, Isabel S. Arbor, Michael Howard Barter, Samuel Bierman, Julia Becker, Lillian Berger, Louis Berman, Fanny Bernhardt, Aaron Bernstein, Ida Dubman Bernstein, Nancy Belosky, Michael N. Bornstein, Thomas E. Campbell, Marvin Cherry, Abraham Cohen, Hyman D. Cohen, Ruth E. Cohen, Julius Kohnberg, Mr. Hyman Darish, Elsie Deutsch, Patricia Routman Etter, Shepard Ellis, Joseph Epstein, Sadie H. Feldman, Paul Fishman, Ralph M. Friedman, Laura J. Friedman, Adeline Gallant, Gertrude Gadan, Marvin Gorman, Hyman Graulick, Julia Schwartz Heller, Harry Huber, Jason Lewis James, Dr. Milton H. Jasper, Max Judd, Louis I. Katz, Tilly Fuhrer Kirschman, Goldie Kussmer, Joseph Kussmer, Louis H. Leba, Louis M. Lakow, Ida M. Larkin, Esther D. Levi, Robert G. Marks, Beverly Schneider Milius, Louis P. Miller, Terry Weber Miller, Esther Cohen Neiman, Louis Neiman, Adele A. Oglander, Joan Olschwanger, Max S. Pion, Lillian Pollock, Leon A. Preston, Becky S. Pruce, Gloria B. Ringel, Max Roman, Lenore S. Rosen, Bessie F. Safer, Lawrence Sandberg, Abe A. Schneider, Alvin A. Schnoor, Matilda Scholar, Charles Sirks, Jacob Jack Shipper, Maurice Norden Schreiber, Betty Siegel, Ben M. Silverstein, Elsbeth Singer, Sidney Sosna, Harry L. Stemison, Amelia Stein, Max Tabachnik, George Thomas. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. And I now invite everyone to please rise and stand with our mourners for Kaddish Yatom, which can be found on page 599. 598. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. And on this Shabbat, as we come together in community, as Rabbi Reinhardt reminded us of the many things for us to think about, to celebrate, perhaps to be hopeful about. On this Shabbat, as we have a double Torah portion, means it's extra long, but on this Shabbat, we have words from Parashat Kedoshim, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And fitting words, actually, on this week when a new pope was appointed. Fitting words for so many, actually, American Jews who I think feel a little bit of hope, because it is the first American pope, and yet a pope who at least understands Catholic-Jewish relations, a pope who has sat in the midst of it in the United States, a place where we have worked really hard to develop those relationships. And so as we think of Herzl's words, Im tirtzu ein zo agada, if you will it, it is no dream. And so if we will it, it is no dream. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love your neighbor as yourself. May it be so, and we end tonight with Herzl's words.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.